This is the Tombigbee Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi on the Tombigbee River called Columbus, and sometimes I write about the rest of the state. Tonight's episode is part of my Heritage Academy expose. This is episode 18, Bald-Faced Lies from the Board of Trustees. Day before yesterday, the Heritage Academy Board of Directors sent out an announcement. I'm going to read that in its entirety. The Heritage Academy Board of Directors proudly announces it has secured a long-term extension of the contract of Sean Harrison, head of school. Under Mr. Harrison's leadership, Heritage Academy has excelled in all aspects of its mission. A graduate of Jackson Academy, he holds a Bachelor of Science in English from Delta State University and a Master in Education in Educational Leadership from Mississippi University for Women. Preceding his tenure as head of school, Harrison served Heritage for 6 years as high school principal, head football coach, and athletic director. Since his appointment as the eighth head of school on May 1st, 2022, Harrison has fostered tremendous growth and progress in academics, athletics, and the school's physical facilities and grounds. He has shown unwavering commitment to the school's mission, its staff, and students. Some of the accomplishments achieved under his leadership, together with the help of the school's dedicated faculty, staff, volunteers, and stakeholders, includes increased enrollment by 15%, improved financial solvency through the retirement of old school debt, establishment of a reserve fund, maintenance of a balanced budget annually, campus-wide technology lifecycle and reserve of all debt, establishment of a reserve fund, maintenance of, I'm just repeating myself, campus-wide technology lifecycle and reserve planning and growth in capital giving, completion of over $1 million in campus-wide physical facility and grounds improvement projects, including but not limited to high school flooring replacement, painting, paving, bathroom and workspace renovations, HVAC and roof replacements, fleet vehicle expansion, athletic facilities renovations, and electrical and lighting enhancements. Security upgrades, including gate and fencing improvements, bollard placement, improved security camera, and other intrusion prevention systems, access control at both the elementary and high school, and through a partnership with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department, the addition of a full-time resource officer. Curricular improvements, including new curricula programs for mathematics, English language arts, and Latin, new curriculum mapping software, as well as the addition of an elementary curriculum coordinator. Completion of over $600,000 in technology upgrades, including campus-wide software and hardware expansion, improved fiber and Wi-Fi access, as well as the addition of a Promethean interactive displays in all classrooms, which hasn't been working in years. 500 plus new student Chromebooks and new laptops for all faculty. Completion of over 600,000 in technology upgrades, including campus-wide software and hardware expansion, improved fiber and Wi-Fi access, as well as the addition of Promethean interactive displays. Like I said, they don't even work. Development and implementation of a new resource program with the addition of 2 dedicated and highly trained staff members. Development of a new K-3 program to begin the fall of 2025. As we look toward 2025 and beyond, the Board of Directors remains committed to the school's mission, looks forward to continued success and progress under the guidance of Harrison and his leadership team, and appreciates the tremendous work and dedication of the school's faculty and staff. Sincerely, Heritage Academy Board of Directors. Wow. I find this an incredibly interesting uh, article or letter or whatever you want to call this missive that they've sent out. Notice they state Harrison has a master's in ed leadership. I wonder when that happened because at the beginning of this year, the Heritage Academy website said that his master's was in curriculum and instruction. Did he go get another master's in the last year? Good on him if he did. However, it's interesting that this is such a new development. Or did they post the wrong master's this whole time? And he actually had an education leadership and not a curriculum and instruction master's. Why wasn't this addressed before? How interesting. The telling points on the letter that are most laughable are the claims of $1 million campus-wide facilities and ground improvement and curriculum improvements and increased enrollment. What is missing from this is even more important. No mention of what percentage of the increased enrollment is sports scholarship students, therefore not money making, or money producing students. Nothing on improved performance of students on academics or test scores. No mention about improving connections with parents or improving transparency with parents or the community. And absolutely zero written in there about student centered improvements. Not a one, zero, zip. Also, there is zero mention of what the future looks like with Harrison at the helm, how long the new commitment is, or any measurable expected outcomes that we can look for from this head of schools in this extended contract. It is as if they have given Harrison carte blanche to continue to tank the school's performance. What is interesting is that the board must not have toured the high school or the elementary school recently. Have they noticed the cockroach infestation of the buildings? Perhaps they should get a real good bug company in there and tackle the issues, starting with the high school and middle school dining room area and then branching into the classroom and bathrooms, and then going on down to the lower school and having a gander at that too. What also they should be doing is the board states that the bathrooms were recently improved. Fresh paint over layers and layers of old paint does not a bathroom upgrade make. The students report that there are still no latches on any of the bathroom stalls that would ensure their privacy while using the restroom. The letter also references an upgrade to the HVAC units somewhere. Where specifically? Yeah, we don't know. Because students and faculty and parents are all screaming BS on that point. The AC and heating is inconsistent, the thermostats are inaccurate or inoperable in the various classrooms in the upper school, and in the lower school, most of the classrooms are on a shared thermostat, and so one classroom cannot be controlled over another. The high school girls do not have a venue on campus to play soccer. We talked about the fact that they improved sports facilities. Clearly, those are for the male sports facilities. There is a gorgeous football field, and boys soccer is allowed to use it for games, but not the girls. The girls have to go to town to the soccer complex at Burns Bottom for practice and games. Clearly, the school is not that concerned that the girls have no changing facilities there, nor do they have safe access to bathrooms or even safety during thunderstorms, etc. They have no place to go. There is an unused softball field, however, back at Heritage Academy between the lower and the upper school that could be plowed under and repurposed for a rapidly growing soccer program on campus. I wonder if they'd even thought about that. But about that football field, why is there no track around the field like at most normal schools? If they built a new soccer field, they should at least put in an actual standard track around the field so that the track team, which they actually do have, could possibly practice their events and train for things like relays and hurdles, etc., in an environment that looks and feels like they would have in competition at other schools. Since the school is sports centric and has so much parent support for this type of stuff, perhaps it's time to build a second gym so that games and practices don't overlap for all the teams that train and play for Heritage. That way, the kids can get home before 10 o'clock at night. Or maybe build a proper middle school and a middle school gym for them to learn and grow their teams and serve as a way to host bigger tournaments in more sports. Where is the dream? Or is the board and the administration happy for the buildings to be the same as they have been for over 30 plus years? How about creating real fine arts programs? Once upon a time, Heritage had a band. They had music and theater and ceramics and drafting and photography courses at the high school. Bring back the arts to the high school. Grow the features of the school that are student centric beyond athletics. Make the arts a required integral part of the school's curriculum, and then you can grow those courses. Hire more qualified teachers. To do that, you might have to part with some money currently dedicated to two admin positions that are all also dedicated to sports. The boys' athletic director, which is, I think, currently vacant, and the girls' athletic director. There is a reason that the faculty has such a high turnover. Low pay and low expectations and poor administrative support come to mind. Provide those teachers with the tools they need to be effective, like textbooks, higher pay, and holding students accountable. But instead, teacher morale is low. Why? Teachers are responsible for purchasing almost everything for their classroom and the instructional support materials they use. The school board gives $50 to each teacher for Christmas usually, and everyone acts as though it is manna from heaven. It is nothing when the school is supposedly so cash rich and doing so well. The elementary has work days for beautification and cleanup of the school grounds, despite the school having paid lawn and maintenance staff. It is as if the school is trying to run off all the educators. All special teachers at Heritage Elementary, like STEM, music, art, and library, are only part time positions. These are the first areas that will be cut when a school needs to find money to fund something else. Instead of the elementary school having a full time librarian who can develop programs and support teachers, there is only a part time librarian, and her time is spent dealing with AR, accelerated reading, that dreaded reading program. There is money for two full time office assistants at the elementary school, but not for a full time librarian for the students. I guess we know where the priorities are at the lower school, and it's certainly not in supporting students. The board brags about bringing in a new K-3 program next year, yet they are not truly supporting the K-4 through grade 6 program in the lower school as it is. Is the K-3 just a money-making gimmick? Clearly, the infrastructure is not supporting the existing students, so why do they think they can support a new, highly specialized early learning group that requires even greater support? And then there's the elementary PE program, and that's a joke. The PE closet is literally a closet and has the bare minimums for supporting a PE curriculum. Oh, yeah, there's some balls and jump ropes and hula hoops and maybe a cone or two, but it doesn't matter since there's no actual PE curriculum. Basically, the assistant football coach is in this position so that he has a full time, he's considered an FTE, a full time employee, so he can get benefits. And he takes the kids outside to play for extended recess, essentially. While I'm sure he's great with the kids and tries to implement some sort of program, without the right tools, his job must be really difficult and probably not that rewarding. They created new positions at the upper school for an alumni director, male and female athletic director, and others, yet the computer lab equipment is outdated and slow. STEM is always advertised as an important element of the school's science program, yet they don't really have a working STEM lab at either the upper or lower school. And what they do have is cheap and outdated. It is why our kids go to STEM competitions, and really, the middle school does so poorly. They are ill supported at school for their projects, and so they are ill prepared to compete. And so seldom do the kids even bother to compete at the high school level later because they feel unsupported and it's unrewarding. For heaven's sake, let's give the entire school a facelift and at the very least replace the antique lockers. They're absolutely foul. They are dented so badly the doors won't open. Many lockers are broken and missing doors. And still, these missing door lockers are still assigned to students to use in these abysmal conditions. There's a reason the kids carry everything with them all day in a backpack. They have no other place to put their things, and even if they can use the lockers, their belongings there are certainly not secured. They are one of the first things visiting parents with potential new students see when they walk down the hall. It's super embarrassing that the school looks so run down and unkept, starting with those lockers. The elementary school is also in terrible shape. The classrooms are dirty and need a deep cleaning. The entire grade 2 through 6 need new paint, floors, ceiling tiles, and bathroom sinks and soap holders. The sinks are literally falling off the walls. Over the years, to earn service hours, high school students have spent summers painting classrooms with little or no supervision or direction. In many of the rooms, they painted over the light switches, around the bookshelves, and anything that could not be easily moved to paint behind. Coats and coats of paint are on the walls, the doors, the windowsills, and on the bathroom stall doors. Ceiling tiles have huge water stains that have been there for years and years in many instances and in desperate need of being replaced. Outside the fifth grade classroom is a mural of a map. The mural is so old that some of the countries no longer exist or are no longer correctly named. There is not a functioning teacher's workroom at the elementary school. It's just another dirty room where junk is stored. Audio and sound equipment at both the lower and upper school is so old and outdated, it doesn't work half the time. On the bright side, the front office has been professionally painted at the elementary school and equipped with new furniture at least twice in the last 10 years. They even put in new floors in the front office area, too. Too bad they didn't think that the rest of the building deserved new flooring as well. The school buildings all just look tired, broken, unkept, and the board is apparently super proud of that. If you are disturbed by the recent announcement of Harrison's extended contract and the list of, quote, accomplishments or the appalling condition of the school, please contact the board. I'm going to list them again. Justin Garner, board president. Kay Regenball, vice president. Suzanne Cunningham, secretary. Kirk Hardy, treasurer. Paige Spears, ex officio. Jim Wilson, board attorney. Sean Harrison, head of school. Ricky Johnston, board member. Robbie Upton, board member. Michael Putt, board member. Jason Woodard, Richard Hurd, Hope Durst, Luke Yateman, and Kevin Stafford, all board members. Please reach out to them. This job is not just an honorary to be sitting on a board and be able to put that after your things that you do on your resume. This is a working board, and they need to be accountable for the decisions they make, whether they like you reaching out to them or not. But look, I understand if you're hesitant to reach out to the board, as it's obvious they are part of the problems impacting Heritage Academy and any future growth and change. From the messages, emails, and phone calls I have had from scores of parents, I know that many are afraid to speak out or contact the board or the administration directly. Every parent I have spoken to has begged for anonymity because they don't want their child to suffer because they, the parent, raised any questions about the school, the board, or the administration. And I get it. If you have concerns you want voiced, reach out to me. I will protect your identity and we will find a way to make your voice heard on this podcast. Whatever negative things happen at Heritage from here on out, the board is now just as culpable as the head of school, Sean Harrison, and the Tombigbee Tales will be watching closely because it is not if something bad will happen at the school due to their negligence, it is when it will happen. Until next time, this is Shannon Evans and the Tombigbee Tales.